Happy Thursday. It's been a week. It's been a day. But we are here with you guys today. We're almost to the end of the week. We almost get to relax a little bit. Maybe not. But happy Thursday, guys. Today's not over. So regardless of how you woke up on the bed this morning, finish strong, get remotivated, do some self-care, whatever you got to do. If your parents... one of you guys sneak away in the closet, get some peace and quiet, and then rotate and let the other person go if you can hide. Or if you have multiple kids, I know that may not be possible because your kids maybe think you're trying to play hide and seek with them. Look, but whatever works.
Just let them holler a little bit, right? It's about you getting your focus, getting yourself back together. So them hollering for a little bit, but if you get yourself together, everything gonna be all right.
Right. And so basically what we want to talk about today, is to really just, first off, come to you and just say thank you. Oh my God, guys, like we didn't know when we started making these videos that we were going to get so much love back from it. And so honestly, guys, like I really just want to say thank you so much. Like our goal is to only honestly impact one person. If we can impact one person at a time, we know we're doing a good job. So guys, we are really thankful and very humble that you like, share, and comment on our posts. So thank you so much for your feedback. But also, I just want to let you guys know that you guys are strong and beautiful and handsome and courageous and overcomers and independent and so worthy. And there's so many more affirmations that I want to share. But the fact that is that regardless of who told you that or who did not tell you that, you guys are worthy. So know your worth and just know that you deserve everything that you want in life. And God wants to be able to give you that as well. But we're just very grateful for you. And again, we just want to say thank you again, because you could be watching someone else's videos and just, passing ours by, but we're really grateful that you decided just to stay and tune in with us.
Most definitely. It's very humbling. So, just to reiterate when my wife was speaking, it's definitely appreciated for those who have reached out to us. We do not take it lightly. It does not fall on deaf ears, and it does not go in vain. But I was looking at Mark Twain. Got bars for y'all, right? But I was looking at Mark Twain, and he said there's two important days. The days that we're born, the day that we're born, and the day that we found out why. I'm at that point. I done found out why. But just because I found it out, right? I realized that does not mean that, you know what, perfect, now I can go. Because what's holding me back, personally, I'm talking about myself, is that I'm a procrastinator. Deeply rooted within me is I'm a procrastinator, but it's like I know my potential. Any of y'all feel that way, right? To where you know your potential, you know you got it in you, but it's some things that's for small imperfections that has to be worked out of you to get you where you need to get to.
And another thing too about procrastination is that, we all have it, if you went to school, it's like, we got a paper due next week, we're going to do it this weekend. Some people work well with procrastinating. For me, like when I had to write papers, I did better when I waited the last minute. Some people can't do that. But the thing is that when it comes to finding your purpose in life, sometimes that takes people a long time to find because you get confused with what God's telling you and then the other inner voices that you hear in your mind. And so it does take a lot of praying and meditating and getting that close with God so he can tell you exactly what your purpose is. But the great thing about your purpose is once you find it, embrace it.
Walk in it.
Again, when you find out what the purpose God has for you in your life, because he created you very special, there's no one like you. Yes, you may have similar skills and abilities like someone else, but what you can do, no one else can do it better because God handpicked you.
Come on.
And so basically, I just want to say that, really embrace your purpose and don't be afraid. If nobody supports you, so what? God didn't say it was going to be easy. He always just said you need to have a small village, and so basically, push through it. If you have nobody, cheering you on and supporting you, God got you. If you don't know which way to go, God's going to bring somebody to you to help you, And so I just say that, definitely find your purpose for one. But two, it's okay to have different purposes because sometimes depending on what God has for you, it may come with one or two things that you need to work on. Sometimes, God gives it to people straight. He gives it plain, depending on how you ask him. And how you receive it. So, listen very clear because I've realized is that when I tune out all the other inner voices, God's voice is the loudest one. But when I don't tune out those inner voices, God's is the lowest voice that I hear. And so basically, I just want to let you know that, I'm a procrastinator as well, but one thing that keeps me going is that I know where I want to be and I know what I want to do to help people. I've been in customer service since I was 17 years old. So I love helping people. I have a steward to connecting with people.
Yeah.
And I've always loved that. And the fact that, you know, that's one of my purpose, and one of my talents in this world is to be able to connect with others and build relationships. And I love that. And so basically, regardless of what job I'm doing, I can always build relationships with people. It doesn't have to be professional. It can always be personal. You can be in the grocery store and you're building relationship. It doesn't matter.
Right.
One thing I've always learned is too is that God wants us to be able to also trust Him with what we have. And you have to respect what you have first in the small spectrum, and then He will give you more. And so with having that in mind too, I want to make sure that I make God proud. Even though God knows my heart and He knows my intentions, He just wants us to have a conversation with Him. He wants us to, you know, tell Him what our concerns and what our worries are. And so we know, and that comes with telling Him your why, like telling Him, you know, what you think. Now He already has it figured out. And so, you know, He doesn't really need you to tell Him, but He wants you to tell Him. And so basically I want you to be able to really just dig deep and really have some time to truly think about what your purpose is. And whatever it is, get rid of all excuses. Get rid of all distractions. If you have accountability partner, push them. And if that accountability partner can't help you, get somebody else. If it's a friend that you know that you can't reach, but someone else can, get them in, you know, have them to hold that person accountable. Because sometimes we can't do it. Sometimes it takes somebody else to hold somebody accountable because we just can't do it. And that's okay. But you need somebody that's going to hold you accountable because, again, you know, I've learned that once I've started walking into my purpose, there's nothing that's going to stop me because there's more ideas that's coming. There's more steps that's aligning with where I need to go. And it's just directing my steps and ordering my steps too. And so I'm just walking in it. And there may be times where, you know, He may throw a fork in the road and I'm like, okay, God, left or right? All right, left, let's go left. Or if I go the wrong direction, He's going to make sure that I turn around and go right. So just make sure that, you know, and I'm really talking to myself, but really at the end of the day, I know that we can reach a lot of people when it comes to identifying your purpose. And your purpose is not this grand idea that just fell from the sky. It's what you're naturally good at. Like, what are you naturally good at? Are you naturally good?
That's the thing about a purpose is that that's good. It's not anything special. It's something that's already within you. My wife said on the other night when we was talking to our team, we already got the tools. We already got the tools. It's already in the toolbox, right? We already wearing it on our tool belt. It's just at a certain point, it's like, you know what? That's the tool I need to be using, right? Your fire, your purpose, everything within you, it's already within you. That's going to get you to where you're going to get to in life, right? And so it's like, once you find that out, it's like, what? Like, I've already had it in me. Now let me walk in it. But in the midst of walking in it, understand that, yes, it's going to be great, right? You're going to feel great when you wake up in the morning and you're just going to be excited. But you really is going to start to see those distractions, right?
And let me get a little personal with you. So for me, like I've always had a connection with people and I'm grateful for that because, you know, I can be an introvert, but I can also be an extrovert as well. And so basically, if I look at my career path, every job, fast food, collegiate, professional, regardless of any job that I've had, it's always took me closer to my purpose. It's always sharpened those skills that God gave me that, you know, that I'm using today. And every single job, whether it be, I worked at AFNI for 3.5 years. I don't know how I stayed for so long, but I learned so much. But you know, every job that I've had, I've been able to take little bits of every job and kind of customize it to where I am today. Every job, everything that you go through, every experience that you go through, it's your stepping stone to the next step. And the reason why that God's just not going to give you a red carpet of your purpose is because you have to go through things before you get to your main purpose. He wants to make sure that you're strong enough to get to the purpose that He has for you. And the thing about it is too, it's not for the simple fact that He wants you to be strong enough, but how many times have we asked for blessings that we truly wasn't ready for? How many times have we asked God for something, but we just asked for it because we want it? But have you worked for it? Have you done everything that you need to do to get it? And so, you know, I think about, I'm a reflector. You know, one thing about me is I always want to know where I started and how far I've come. Because if I can keep track of, you know, because that always keeps me humble. And I will always be humble because I don't believe in like boasting. Brandon can tell you I have an issue with, you know, celebrate my small wins because, you know, I don't want to never not be humble because I'm very grateful with the life that I have and the cards that God have dealt with to me. But at the same time, one thing I'm very humble about is everything and every person that's come into my life, whether that's positive or negative. Because because one thing I've learned, you can learn something from anybody. I've learned from great bosses. I've learned from terrible bosses. I've learned from great friends. I've learned from worse friends. I've learned from situations, and that's okay. Because honestly, the woman that I am today, without going through all that, I wouldn't be who I am today because of those experiences that I've learned. So take what you've learned already. Don't try to compare yourself to others. That's one thing that we do in society is that, oh, I want to be like so-and-so. Don't do that. You are supposed to be you.
Yeah.
There's only one of you. Be you 100% of the time. And again, this is something I talked about in our call, but it's really true because, you know, some people cannot sleep at night because they're like, man, I'm trying to be like so-and-so, but you don't know what so-and-so did to get to where they are today. You don't know their journey. And so I just want to say that be okay with being who you are. It's okay. God made you for a reason. If he wanted you to be like somebody else, he would have made you somebody else. So be okay with who you are and truly embrace it. And before you can actually be in your purpose, you have to be happy with who you are. You have to make yourself happy before you can make somebody else happy. Before you can walk into that purpose, you have to make sure that you're okay.
That's it. That's it. We're going to drop the mic. We're going to drop the mic. I'm not going to add nothing else to it. But yes, be appreciative of who you are and know that your life is already ordained. We just got to go through the motion.
Right. And last thing I want to add is that, like my husband said earlier, God has given us every tool. Like we have every tool in our toolbox. But there's only certain lessons or times where we need certain tools. And, you know, I'm sure that there's universal tools. I'm not really big in tools, but I'm sure there's universal tools. But for the most part, you know, you can't use the same tool for everything.
Right.
You know, you have Phillips, a screwdriver. I know the basics. But, you know, basically, you know, there's going to be certain tools that God gives you for you to use. In different seasons, you're going to be using a different tool. If you're using the same tool, that's because he wants you to sharpen that tool.
Come on.
So I just want to say that you have everything that you need. The motivation, the courage, the strength, the worthiness, the confidence. It's already in you. It's just time for you to walk in your purpose and live out to your best capability. It's time for you to live out for who you are and who you're destined to be. So get ready, tighten that belt up because God's going to give you the tools. If you need a hammer, he's going to give it to you. If you don't need it, he's not. If you need an axe, he's going to give it to you. If you need a screwdriver, he's going to give it to you. But just use the tools that he gives you and then put them back once they're sharpened and then sharpen another tool, a tool that's dual. Okay?
That's it.
So I hope you guys learned something for today. This one definitely touched us if you can't tell. We love you guys. Have a happy Thursday and have a good night and we'll be back tomorrow.
Let's go.